tremendously beneficial to my business. Primary role with the strength of your services. Obviously, I know I can come to you, and we've worked well together when we have a problem or a need, and we've been able to discuss how we can attack that or address that sort of situation.
Today I'm here with a client of mine, Eric Henry. He is an attorney based in Ohio, and we've been able to work with him for around the past year. Eric, let's get into it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, qualifications, your background. Obviously, we said you're an attorney, but maybe you could speak a little bit more about what your firm does.
Yeah, I'm as you said, an Ohio, Northeast Ohio guy specifically. I run a personal injury law firm, which runs the scope of personal injury practices, including auto accidents, fall cases, medical malpractice, and nursing home negligence. I've been dealing with growth, which is a good thing over the last couple of years, and have been looking for ways to scale up our capacity. And so that's kind of how we cross paths.
And can you tell me a little bit about your role in the firm? Obviously, you are the main decision maker, but some of the day-to-day roles that you have within the firm.
Yeah, well, I wear a lot of hats. Obviously, I practice as an attorney, so I have a full caseload of clients that I'm working with, but also as an entrepreneur at a small business. So that encompasses business development, a lot of administrative functions, marketing, advertising, HR. So all the growing pains and day-to-day functions that a small business owner and operator has on top of being a full-time practicing attorney.
And I remember when you came to us, you were looking to kind of scale, and we were looking at different ways to do it, whether it be through, a number of different types of assistance, whether it be on booking or, calendar management or different sorts of things. But at the time, when we started working together, what were some of the bottlenecks within your firm that were sort of preventing you guys from scaling the way that you guys wanted to?
Really, in personal injury practice, a lot of our evidence is medical records. Medical records are a huge administrative hassle to obtain. It's very time intensive, it's consuming, costs a lot of resources, and costs a lot of man hours. So that was a clear bottleneck that was mostly bottlenecked through administrative functions. And that's why that was really the first area that we identified as something that we could use your services and expand our capacity to help deal with the bottleneck we were suffering from.
When we were able to bring on those agents in medical billing roles, I feel like we were able to kind of fast track the caseload. Maybe you could speak a little bit to Catherine's strengths, because obviously there's people that, there's attorneys all over the country that maybe they've seen, virtual assistants here and virtual assistants there, and they're unsure of, let's call it the quality of work and, can we trust this person, all sorts of things. Maybe you can speak a little bit to Catherine specifically, because I think sometimes people, put everyone in the same country in the same box, and there's a big difference in talent depending upon who you work with.
Yeah, of course. So we operate with a lot of technological systems, different CRMs, case management systems, as well as record retrieval systems. And that was the initial concern and challenge, was to bring her up to speed to be able to integrate into our systems, adopt those, and use them effectively. And she's done very well with that. She's very technologically savvy. She's not had any problem picking up on the systems that we're using and integrating into those systems. And she's shown an ability to take the training that we give her, pick up the skill set that we needed in her to be able to implement her role and execute it. So that was a pleasant surprise when we could integrate her into a number of half dozen different tech programs we're using, and in a very short matter of time she's able to pick it up and understand intuitively how these systems work.
With that, personal injury firms especially, because there's a lot of back-end work, it's a really good fit. Obviously, I think we've been able to show that we have the ability to help firms scale. How do you see this progressing in the next 12 months, with the virtual assistants and the firm?
We have added a second VA, Keisha, who has really demonstrating herself quickly. Number one, it's to dominate our medical records retrieval, because that, like I said, that's the lifeblood of a personal injury law firm. So that's my first goal, is to fully implement her, and so that we have a not just a good amount of capacity and manpower in that department, but that we have more than sufficient so that we really dominate in that area because that is tremendously beneficial to my business. And then from there, we see the ability, as you said, there's a lot of back end administrative functions that a lot of firms might handle remotely within the United States, or you have work from home workers and things like that. And we believe that we can handle those administrative functions, whether it's paralegal type projects, clerical, um, writing letters, client communications. Those will all be areas where we look to scale up and increase, even whether as a secondary helping role or a primary role, with the strength of your services.
Absolutely. And obviously, Eric, we know you're very busy, and that's one of the reasons that we're happy to get to work with you because we've been able to free some of your time, even just to get this case study. But any final thoughts or highlights, from your experience working with us?
Yeah, well, I appreciate your responsiveness, Albert. Obviously, I know I can come to you, and we've worked well together when we have a problem or a need, and we've been able to discuss how we can, attack that or address that sort of situation. Um, the ability that we have to sort of interview and vet the candidates on the front end and actually talk to them and put them through a basic interview as we're considering who is the best fit for our firm. That's a real benefit to us, and the communication is good. We communicate with our VAs very hands-on, whether that's through our systems or through messaging apps and things like that. So pleased with that ability to interface, and although they may be many miles away, we can work with them on our schedule, on our timeline, and have that quick communication.
Amazing. Thanks so much.